Sign up for free Stratfor Intelligence. Simply enter your email address to receive 2 free reports each week.
As the floodwaters in Thailand continue to threaten Bangkok, the issue of flood management and ultimately of reconstruction has become a major political contest. It's pitting Prime Minister Yingluck's ruling party against the Bangkok mayor and the major opposition party, with the military sitting as a third player. The floods have been an unexpected issue in some ways for Yingluck and her relatively new government. This was a government that came in really with a very different attitude than the previous governments. In many ways, it is a reflection of the old Thaksin government that got knocked out. One of the initial activities for this government, in fact, has been to try to bring Thaksin back into the country. He's very popular with the now ruling party, what was the opposition. These floods then raised that traditional tension in Thailand between the rural and between the urban residents of Bangkok. That tension was also reflected in the competition between Thaksin and the other political parties, Thaksin in many ways representing the rural populations against, in some ways, the Bangkok elite. We see those tensions now rising up again over how to deal with the floodwaters. One of the places where we're particularly seeing direct confrontation is over the sluice gates around the edges of Bangkok. The Bangkok governor has decided to keep these gates closed. He's trying to protect the city. The Yingluck government has asked for them to be at least partially opened. The populations just on the outside of these gates are asking for them to be substantially opened, because as the sluice gates stay closed, that may protect various areas of Bangkok itself from the flooding, but what it does that at the expense of these rural areas where the flooding is much more severe. Once again in Thailand, as the flooding continues, we see rumors of a military coup. And these types of rumors are really not unusual in Thailand, nor in many ways are military coups. But in this case, the military is much less likely to be looking to act to overthrow the government, and instead is working to improve its image. We see the military making it a point to gain as much public attention as it can for its activities throughout the country in flood relief, in flood management. We've seen the military standing up with the Prime Minister and in many ways taking credit for any of the positive activities that are going on, while reducing some of the distrust or the disappointment with the military for the way in which they handled public protests several years ago inside Bangkok. Complicating matters for the Yingluck government, and really for the opposition as well, is the fact that this flooding has severely impacted several foreign business parks in Thailand. And some of these companies, some of these major investors are now talking about moving their factories, moving their facilities outside of Thailand. During the past 5-6 years of political unrest, Thailand largely avoided a major outflow of foreign investment. But there was always this question of whether the Thai government could ever settle back down again, create a much more stable environment for investment, for continuing business operations. This seems to be a point at which some of these companies are saying, we're just really not willing to continue putting up with the political risk in this country. We're going to use the flooding as our opportunity or as our excuse to leave. The Thai opposition has accused Yingluck and her government of failing to recognize the potential severity of the floods as the floodwaters started rising in the north and moving towards Bangkok. This is laying the groundwork for political competition as we go forward. We would expect within the next few weeks, as the situation in Bangkok stabilizes and as the floodwaters start to recede, that we're going to see hearings, congressional debates over who was responsible, when should people have known, when should they have acted, and that's going to be the real test for this new Yingluck government.